All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bear Sheath Farm. We are live with your host here, Levite Khan. Oh, okay. Let's make sure I get everything here. Got that. Got this. Deb will be helping to monitor. Um, Hold on. We'll get this yet. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're listening live or pre-recorded, I've been doing a lot of research. Now, I'm not doing the reading in this live stream. That might be tonight if I have enough time. I do think that's vital. I think it's essential. Um, I think it's imperative. But whether I'll be able to do it tonight or have to wait for Leviticus chapters 7 through 12 till tomorrow night, I still don't know.
Yeah, I apologize for false advertising, people. I didn't know that he wasn't going live for the reading.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I should have maybe made that more clear. But anyway, you can monitor with this if you want, Deb.
Yes.
All right, I've been doing a lot of research here, and I've been able to find a lot of things, and some things I have not. This is one of the reasons why I emphasize on if you can get possession of old magazines with articles, old books, stuff like that. Because Google, I think, frankly, is covering up a lot of stuff. Now, I won't show you. Well, I'll show it actually in the sense of just showing you, but I'm not going to play anything because we're talking BitChute here. What I've been looking at, and I think it was Wilfred Witzke, or I know it was, that gave me this, and I'm 9. And you even have permission on that one Patriot channel or whatever, because it's more than just that. There's a few people out there doing it on BitChute. There's one on Rumble for sure. And they give you permission to go ahead and get the videos out on any link, including YouTube, but I'm not willing to take that chance yet.
And there's also some on Substack.
Anyway, I've been looking at Substack again, reading some articles, and that. But they're a lot more free compared to YouTube. I'll give it that. And that's why I'm not willing to. Maybe I should just open up a Rumble, or I think BitChute I might have to do just uploads if I do that. I don't know if you can do live on BitChute. If you do, I think you have to pay something. I just don't have enough information. Now on Rumble, I'm not sure. I know you can do live stream. A lot of people do. They'll do their YouTube and Rumble. But again, we're talking moolah. And folks, this is a lot of stuff, and it's overwhelming, just the amount of information. The information it's in and of itself does not confuse me. What confuses me is people's perceptions. Why? Why do you? Again, I'm not here to defame people. Like, there's this one lady I'm thinking about maybe unsubbing her. She actually gave some good information that I saw in a video today, and well, a lot of it was crackpot. I've shown some of her stuff on my live streams before. The stuff that I know is pretty solid, concrete. But when you start talking about things like Biden supposedly won the election fair and square in 2020, here's what I'm supposed to believe then without even starting to question it. This I will definitely put up. And I'll read it to you because I remember the numbers kind of, and I made sure to go out of my way to find them precisely. Here we are. Now this comes from the Council on Foreign Relations, the 2020 election by the numbers. It's almost over. Yesterday, Electoral College electors convened virtually or in person in state capitals across the country to cast their votes. The result was what everyone expected, the election of Joe Biden as president of the United States. With the election now essentially settled, Republican lawmakers may make one last doomed attempt to reverse the results when Congress meets on January 6th to confirm the Electoral College vote. Here's one last review of how the vote went. Because I do remember we went to bed that night, November of 2020, and Trump was quite a ways ahead. Got up the next morning, and he lost. In 20 anyway, let's go over the popular vote. Here's what I'm supposed to believe. Biden won 81,283,098 votes, or 51.3% of the vote cast. He is the first U.S. presidential candidate to have won more than 80 million votes. Trump won 74,222,958 votes, or 46.8% of the votes cast. That's more votes than any other presidential candidate has ever won, with the exception of Biden. Why do they write that? Anyway, let's just keep going. Okay, parentheses. Third-party candidates picked up 1.8% of the votes cast. Okay, I am supposed to believe, and let's see if we can find this or not. Actually, let's do this. Precise number, of popular votes for hold on. There we go. I don't want to mistype. Barack Obama in 2012. Yeah, right. Okay. No, this I'm just looking up right in front of you. I don't probably legitimately beat with I don't doubt that for a second. I'm looking for the numbers. Come on, guys. Let's do Statista, as in the stats. What the hell? Okay. Okay. President Obama won the election with about 65.9 million votes from the population. His opponent, Mitt Romney, could gather about 60.9 million votes. In other words, I'm supposed to believe that, okay, let's just say 66 million to keep it simple here for Barack Hussein Obama. He had over 15 million less votes than his vice president did for 2020. Is that right? I don't accept that. I'm sorry. Some of these people are really going off the wall. And I say that sincerely. It's not out of vindictiveness. Look, I'm not a part of the grand old party. I'm not a mega Republican. I never have been. I used to be a Republican in high school. I became a Democrat later in my college years, Army and college years. And we're not talking today's Democrats, folks, just to let you know. Hold on. What is your issue? Hold on, folks. Anyway, because Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton, and even stupid, knobbish senator, as in Tennessee Senator Al Gore, didn't talk this way back 34 years ago. Okay. Clinton believed, I mean, Al Gore was always kind of a knob. It was, Clinton, he wanted secure borders. He said it more than once. He said it at least in one address to, at least in one of his 8 addresses to the Union, if not more. He did it on his weekly radio show. I've got things saved of it on channels, where you start things on your laptop. Anyway, but then I started to change as time went on, and I was a Bible reader then, a real seeker, and then finally in 2013, I started really hitting it hard and became a theocratic monarchist. But that's it. I didn't leave the Democratic Party because of what's going on now. I would have probably. There wouldn't have been any probably. I would have, but I'd left them before that.
Yeah.
Why even be a Republican? They have no sack. They're divided. Trump is not going to have any arrests made as far as deep state. He doesn't have the balls to do it. Oh, hey, how you doing, Nemesis? Early Shabbat Shalom to everybody. That'll be starting in a little while. Anyway, but welcome, Nemesis. I'm looking at this going, kind of hate politics. Because I was around it, too, on a lower level. I've told you guys about it. I've given general stories and stuff, and even some crap I was involved in, and and what they think about the common peasant. We're looked at as trash. We're, cattle. Now, don't get me wrong. When I've had cattle, I treat my cattle very well. But you get what I'm saying. It just, it's amazing. And there really isn't a lot of difference. But let's go over some things. Like what I have a propensity of doing, and I'm not going to change this. I think it's a very good thing to do. When I would be looking at that thing that I just showed on BitChute, the title anyway, Europa, The Last Battle. And the 8 parts before it, for that matter, over the last, couple of weeks, whatever it's been. People are making claims, and if I can't find it, I'll go ahead and tell you about it, but I'll tell you I could not verify it. That's why, because Google will not show it or admit to it. A lot of stuff they did, and I'll differentiate that. But then even then, you gotta be aware when you're critically reading. They'll give their subjective point of view. How you doing, Daniel? Early Shabbat Shalom to Daniel, the future Sabbath keeper in the Messianic realm. How you doing, buddy? Gotta get up that little notch yet, buddy. Anyway, all joking set aside, I looked it up for Joseph Stalin because it did, and it gave the source supposedly that Joseph Stalin said, and I don't doubt he said this. America is like a healthy body, and its resistance is threefold: its patriotism, its morality, and its spiritual life. If we can undermine these 3 areas, America will collapse from within. Well, that's true. It's happening. Now, did Joseph Stalin say it? I don't have proof. Keep in mind, I'm 15 miles away from the closest town, out in the woods, in the forest. I can get to a library every now and then, but you know what I've learned over the years, even with libraries now? And this is why I recommend you to go to flea markets and get to those shells, as well as guns, as well as chickens, as well as whatever they want to sell, depending on which partition you go to or under a canopy. People have old partitions where they have books, anywhere from stupid romance novels to really useful information of the historical past. I think I have a book I bought from the, it's very simple. It would do me no good for this, but just basic things of the Constitution and our American heritage, our history. It might do me some good, but as far as the subjects we're discussing right now, it doesn't. But, I recommend you to go there, because even in libraries, what I've learned in the past, You go and you request certain books, and it's common that I would, and they don't have it, but they can order it. There are a lot of times they even couldn't get it, even then. Um, well, if you want more rest, do what I tell you to do, Daniel. I'm your cult leader now. Don't you think that's good advice, Dad? I probably should be careful. I don't want people getting offended. Anyway.
Well, you and Daniel pick on each other all the time.
I know it's a lot of fun. I know he enjoys it. But whether Joseph Stalin said it or not, I don't know, but it is true. Now, here's the thing from Benjamin Netanyahu from 2002. Once we squeeze all we can out of the United States, it can dry up and blow away. Now, I couldn't find that either. If you people have any links you can give me to check while I'm out in the middle of the forest, by all means, send them to me, and I'll try to check them out. I'm open to people's suggestions. If I could get you on this panel and we shoot the breeze, I would. That's why sometimes I do go on to other people's panels if I think they're going to be reasonable enough, because I'm not there to argue. I'm not there to get into it and get all, have all that dissension. I'm there to have intellectual discussions with real proof of things. Let me unplug this. So that being said, folks, that would be really stupid for Netanyahu to say, even though if he said it, even if it was 24 years ago. But then again, when he has Trump, wanting to combine the militaries together, and Netanyahu's a war criminal, plain and simple. I want him out. I'm all for the land, the state of Israel. I'm a Jew, for Pete's sake. If he said that. Now, one thing I did validate, although I already knew it, because it's not like I'm going into this unknowing. I'm not naive to a lot of things. I've done a lot of reading, and I still do. The goals of Marxism, and there's 4 things that it came up with, and Google did validate this. The goals of Marxism: 1 is destroy the family. 2, destroy private property. 3, destroy religion. And 4, destroy the nation. Sounds like it's in the right order to me. And Google actually did verify this. Well, what about it? I mean, what am I supposed to say? They're doing it all over. Now, supposedly Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida has given the order, if we catch you doing that, we're going to shoot your plane down or at least escort you down. Well, that's nothing but hypocrisy, guys. Deborah and I were in Florida for years. And I remember times, because I'm a night owl, I was up all night. Again, doing some of this research. And when I would go, I remember anywhere, like when we lived in Parker, that's one of the places we lived in Florida, which is, just call it an extension of Panama City. But when we did that, anywhere between midnight to 3 in the morning, a truck would be coming by, putting all the spray out to keep the bugs out. I'd quick run in. I don't know if it did me any good or not. It's not like Deb's grandmother's house is proofed that way by any stretch, but they do this all over the state. Now, like where we are, we have bugs and bees and flies and all that. And yes, they can be kind of a pain, but I'm glad they're here.
Yeah, the last time in Florida, I saw lightning bugs and stuff.
Yep.
Wow, when I was 13.
Yeah, she's an old biddy now.
Oh, thanks.
No, but yeah, we never saw light bugs.
Hardly
we see them here on a regular basis, and I'm glad for that. There's still chemtrails that do come around.
Butterflies.
But you didn't see any of that in Florida. They are doing that crap all over. So what? So they won't let any planes put any chemtrails out. They don't have to, guys and gals, if there's any women watching. All I'm saying is The chemtrails are all over the place. I mean, I already know this, and I don't know what to. I don't have the authority or the power to stop it. I would if I did. There'd be a lot of things that would change very quickly. An autocrat would look like a lightweight compared to me. But rather than me sit here and fantasize about something that's not reality and never will be, let's keep this moving. Um, I don't know what to think about the Holocaust. I know Jews died in there, Jewish people, I should say. Um, Political opponents of Hitler and his regime, and so on. And prisoners of war, POWs. That happened too. But that being said, folks, what are you going to. At the same time, and I'm not for, he was a eugenicist. There's no doubt in my mind about it. And he was for the Aryan race to be superior and all that. But at the same time, I think him, his regime, and a lot of the Germans wanted to be left alone. He tried to send Jewish believing people, Orthodox Jews, Hasidic, Sephardic, Karaite, Messianics, kind of like I am. He made requests to other nations, including ours, if he could deport them. Franklin Delano Roosevelt said no, he wouldn't do it. Anyway, of course, we could. I don't know what to say about the Zionist Jews. I've known about this for a long time. But let me give you some numbers here. I made sure to bring this up. And I did check the numbers, and they were pretty right. They were out of date on BitChute. So I will update you. There's this gentleman and giving a presentation from however many years ago. And he said, can America make a difference with mass immigrants? And he said, no. And I understand it. I love numbers. They can get overwhelming. People don't really realize a lot of times when they're saying, hey, 45 billion. I mean, you don't realize. I'm not saying you people. I'm just, you got to think about that stuff. Or you say, like Elon Musk. What do you think? 1.1 trillion he's worth now, the first trillion? Holy smokes, guys. Start figuring those numbers out and just how significant, how powerful, how mind-searing they really are. And but anyway, rather than go on that tangent, let's forget about 2021 to 2025. That was treason. It was illegal. Okay, approximately 20 million. They're not even for sure, and I do believe that when they say they don't know for sure, because I've heard anywhere from 10 million to over 45 million, but the number that gets used most is around 20 million illegals came in through our borders with the Biden-Harris administration. Forget about that. From 1990, the average since then all the way to 2020 anyway was 1 million immigrants are taken in every year. Well, 1990 to 2000, that's 11 years. 2010, that's 21. 2000, that's 31 million, simply put. Not 30 million only, but 31 million. Let's do this. I will put this up for you. And I know this is kind of boring, but just stick with me, folks. Just stick with me. Wait a minute. Is that the right one? It is. Okay. All right. Now, the things that's out of date is like, or the numbers are not actually 650 million Africans make. Now, he said make less than $2 a day. I am updating this around, where's the dollar sign? $2.15 a day. I'll make sure you guys can see that. Okay. Let's put that back. India. And again, he said less than that. He said less than $2. Has 890 million who make, and I'll put $2. Oh, where is it? Okay. All right. And we're not done. We're not even close. I mean, we are, but it won't take me horribly long, I don't think. Where am I? Let's see. Okay. China has 480 million people, and I know they're in the who make $2.15 a day approximately now. Now, Asia has, and it's around the same number that we just read for India. Right here. Okay. It's coming up for me because I did this last night, early this morning. All right. That's the rest of Asia. And this really isn't that difficult, folks. Even if there's some of you, if you do suck at math, it's not that hard. Okay. Now, the World Bank, and I'm sure some of you heard that, say, look at my own writing. I write legibly usually, but when I'm just taking quick notes, I can get kind of stupid here.
She's hurt. She's hurt.
Give me a minute.
Don't move. She's under your chair.
Check her out. Doggone small, Dad. She's like a micro dot.
Foot two.
Well, soother.
Dogs.
Says.
I'm putting them up.
Yeah, okay, you do that. Okay. Says 3 billion.
Tired of you doing that, Shadow. Tired of you.
I thought you did it by accident.
No.
Oh, he did it.
Yes.
Okay. Says 3 billion people live in poverty.
Oh, man.
Can't you keep a hold of her?
I'm going to get him. Can you grab him? Tell them for a second.
Give me a minute, folks. My wife needs help. Come here. Come here.
Put them both up.
Yeah.
No. Pounced on her.
All right, I apologize for that. Let's get back to business here. Okay, now the World Bank says, and they're powerful, no doubt about it. The World Bank reported that approximately 3.7, this is more updated because that guy said 3 billion people. I don't think he was wrong at the time. Anyway, 3.7 to 3.8 billion people live below the poverty line, relevant for upper middle income countries. Now, these are the better off countries that are poverty stricken. $6.85 a day to $8. $6.85 to $8.30 per day. Additionally, okay, so we're adding on around 830 million currently live in extreme poverty, surviving on less than $2.15 per day. Now, where did I write some of these? Okay. Where am I here? Okay. Take it easy, Haas. Thanks for coming. Hopefully you thumb me up. Now, here's what I'm looking at. Then his next question to the crowd was, now, can we afford to take these people in and help them out here in the United States or America, however he's, and of course he goes, no, because we can't. Our infrastructure would never be able to handle that, so we need to maybe try to help them in their nation, is what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
So, is she going to be all right?
I don't know.
Did he bite her?
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at the current population in America, and whether this includes both legals and illegals, I don't know. I know Trump has wanted to get a census done for just Americans only. I don't think he's been able to do it. Okay, they're saying approximately 342 million to 349 million people, making it the third most populous country in the world. Obviously, China has us beat there. But think about it, folks. I thought I wrote this somewhere. Gosh darn it. But we're talking billions of people. What if we would have kept going? What if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz would have won this election? And again, I'm not really overly sticking up for Trump. I'm just not. He's evil. Okay, he's getting worse. But those borders would have remained open, folks. There's, I think, a little over 3 million that they have detained. So a lot of them have been deported. A lot of them are still in behind bars or whatever. Thank God. Well, you have to put those 3 million back in. And if we were doing to 10, 12,000 people a day through the borders since January of 2025, you're talking 17 months. Okay. I mean, you're at the very minimum, you're talking 300,000, actually be more than that, but you'd be more than 300,000 a month coming in for the last 17 months. Well, let's take a look at that.
She's still living on it.
Well, she'll have to get over it and heal, I guess. Where's that time sign? Oh, brother, man. I'm looking at my... this is where I'm used to using my smartphone. Well, no, just... Well, if we're not going to monitor, Deb...
That's not what I'm talking about. Never mind.
Okay. Here, I'll do it like this.
I got it monitored. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm just upset.
I know.
Had this happen before.
Oops, I did that wrong. Hold on.
10 years ago.
at least another 5,100,000 more would be in besides roaming our streets. We'll talk about that later. What's going through your mind? I think I know what's going through your mind, Deb, but I don't blame you. But anyway, I know. That being said, folks, that's what we'd be looking at. 5,100,000 more. And it would be more than that. Come on. You think it would have slowed down any? We have between 342 million to 349 million in the United States now, legal and illegal already. I don't think ICE and Border Patrol has even, I mean, they've done a lot of good in a way, but I mean, they haven't hardly scratched the surface on a number level. They were doing awesome, I thought, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, there, the South Side or whatever, my home state. And then once 2 people were rightly killed in action in self-defense, I mean, Trump backed off. They're still doing it, but not like that. Of course, then Border Patrol Chief Greg Bavina was forced to retire, and he should still be. I thought he did an awesome job. But anyway, I'm just making the point. I think they got over 4,000 out of there, and I just have this odd feeling that there's a lot more than that. Just saying. So anyway, let's take a look. I don't really know how to present this stuff to you folks. I know the numbers are as accurate as we can get them. I have enough knowledge to where even after looking at BitChute, and I will continue to, I know we have, I have enough knowledge from the past and researching some of it. I just kind of put out of my mind because you feel powerless, helpless, and it's been refreshing my memory. Plus, I've learned some new things. Like another one here, I've talked about him in the past a little bit. The John Davison Rockefeller, the guy who discovered oil, got it early. He didn't discover it first, but I mean, he got it out of the ground of our country and really did some good things with it. However, he also brought people to their knees, companies when they join him, and he'd get them totally under. He ended up going to court for that. They didn't really convict him or anything. They just made him to where he had to break it up so he wasn't such a monopoly. Well, he learned from that, and he ended up making more money having stock investments in how many companies. Oh, dirty dirt. I mean, but like this one, and I've heard this. I remember hearing this 20 years ago or whenever it was, maybe 15 years ago. I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. Now, I got that from slickwords.com, but Google will not back it up. I had to look up specifically on SlickWords to find it. How credible they are, I don't know. I can tell you right now, there's things that are credible that Google won't show. Just baby her and be all right. She's fine, Deb. She'll be all right. I don't think he meant to do that, to be that rough. He's just so much bigger than she is. But anyway, if we're at almost 350 million people now, imagine. Can you taking in? I mean, we shouldn't even be taking 1 million in anymore. Didn't Trump stop that?
No.
Well, he made it a lot less, right?
He actually said that the Americans were too stupid. That's why he's giving HB1 visas and free homing and college degrees to people from India and China.
Yeah, but he's trying to take in the intelligent ones, not the retards.
Yeah, but
let me show you something about Somalia.
We're too stupid.
Let me show you something about Somalia here. And it depends on what you look up, what source you're looking at. We can look at a few, and then I'm going to play a couple of small videos here. Okay. Average IQ in Somalia. Well, that's a wide gap. We're going to look into it a little more closely with, because AI is, Somalia ranged from 68 to 84, depending on the specific study or testing platform used. What's her name? Might be Ilhan Omar of the 5th Congressional District of Minnesota. She's probably a real Somalian genius. She's probably at 91 or 2, who knows, but let's look in World Population Review. Lowest, I don't know about that. I have a hard time believing that. They cannot pull off what they're pulling off now. But an 84, they could do it at least a little bit better, but they're getting a lot of help. Where is it? Hopefully my cataracts aren't making it too rough here. Okay. Just bear with me, folks. I know this is boring, but you can do it. Yeah, I'm going to go by the average here. That's what they're doing it. Hold on. Okay. Okay, they're saying 83.84, but that's not the stats that I hardly ever see. That's and that's pretty dull when it comes down to it. See, even Katie Miller on X, I'd have to take a little bit to get on X to show you. Let's try. Oh, here's the one I think I looked up to on Bright, even though there's no I in there. Okay. Right here, supposedly 90.99. Come on now. Right. The average IQ of the American average IQ in Canada is included with this too. Depending on what poll I've looked at, anywhere from 97.4 to 98 is average IQ. Why is Somalia's average IQ at 67? Let's take a look at that, shall we? Going to YouTube here.
Interbreeding.
Well, duh. Here we are.
The foundation is...
Okay. I mean, Ilhan is living proof that the family that plays together stays together. I'll give her that much. Anyway, let's play this.
Somalia's average IQ is 67, and here is why it's so low. The foundation is a 49% inbreeding rate, a tribal norm used to consolidate power. This inbreeding depression restricts the gene pool and lowers cognitive potential before conception. Even outside this genetic pool, poor maternal health stunts brains in the womb. Only 12% of women get prenatal care, and 1.5 midwives per 10,000, far below global standard, leave fetal malnutrition untreated. Once born, the deficit is locked in by a chronic nutrition gap. With 1 in 4 children stunting, the brain is starved of protein and minerals during the critical first 1,000 days, causing permanent, irreparable damage. A constant infectious disease load from malaria and parasites then forces a biological trade-off, diverting brain-building energy to the immune system just to survive. Chronic trauma from war causes 30% PTSD and 35% anxiety, while lead neurotoxins strip 3 to 15 IQ points, adding final layers of environmental decay. The education deficit locks the cycle, as 3 million children out of school never develop the abstract reasoning patterns these tests require. Somalia's...
All right. All right. Yeah, I think you're right on that history there, Haas. I don't doubt that. But I mean, Rockefeller was pretty successful a little while. How many years after the Civil War? Oh, hey, Old Path, how you doing, buddy? Early Shabbat Shalom to you, Old Path. Yeah. But that being said, folks, hopefully you're all thumbing my live stream up. This is stuff I would love to be able to play on YouTube. I really would. And yes, if I get shut down, I'm not going to cry over it. But at the same time, I mean, I'm taking risks already, but I'm not going to play a lot of this stuff because it shows it pretty bluntly. I can handle it, and I think a lot of you guys can. You're made of iron gut. You have steel guts like I do, but YouTube won't care. And to watch what's going on in the other countries, like our predecessor brother Brits, they're done. It's over. There's other countries, and these Muslims make it very clear. And they're right. Yes, I have actually, Nemesis. But that being said, Hope, I don't know if are you going to put that against me?
But
have you ever had a black girlfriend, Merle? Yeah, I've had more than one.
Long time ago.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened to one that's going through my mind that I was with for a while in Columbus, Ohio, the capital city there. She would not go near another black man by the time she met me. It's funny you typed that in. But anyway, sticking to the subject.
We're not racist.
Because I'm not a racist. I don't care. I think everybody should preserve their culture. Frankly, with the black Hebrew Israelite wannabes, as I call them, they shouldn't be ashamed of their black culture, their African culture. Why do they need to try and cover it up and say that they're Hebrews, that they're Jews? They're not. It's not a big deal.
Everybody cut. They bleed red.
They're included in the contract, the covenant, if they do the right thing, accept Yeshua as their Mashiach, and they live to the best of their ability by the Torah and their hearts more than anything are right. And that's all throughout the Tanakh, the Old Testament. But anyway, I'm now I'm going off on a tangent. These guys, like I listened to one guy talking, I don't know why, even a BitChute, they blurted out of space, I guess, or they did. And he was laughing. He thought it was funny because, hey, we're having, just with one woman, 7, 8 children. We're going to take over by numbers. Some of us have 4 wives. We'll have 22, 23 children. The white person, what? They'll be lucky to even have 2. Ha, ha, ha. And he's right, And then I saw some incidents where on this documentary where the white women are getting treated. They're getting the living snot beat out of them. They're getting crap. One girl was walking her dog, or woman, I should say, and she got approached. She got beat up by the guys. Her dog got kicked. She has taken to the vet. She was in tears. So that being said, I don't, and it's like the elites are doing this on purpose. I am proud of my Hebraic history, my heritage. I also own up to when we screwed up. It's all throughout the Old Testament. And there's history outside of the canon, by the way, that we Jews have done some really stupid things. And we deserved it. We deserved to get the consequences. That's when we went under the contract. We agreed to this. Obey, get this. Disobey, get that. It doesn't even need to be that complicated. I just, I don't know how else to say it, but I mean, I do, but You people are pretty smart. You get the point. So when I look at this, and I look at what they're doing purposely interbreeding, interbreeding, mixing the races, and it's causing a lot of damage right there. Lower IQs, like there's this one statement, and I'm not finding it. I thought I wrote it down. Maybe I didn't, but have an average of a 90 IQ. Not smart enough to really question much, but smart enough to work. Basically, to be slaves. I mean,
it's not interbreeding the cultures. It's the family to family.
Well, it is also interbreeding. Don't try to correct me. I know what I'm talking about.
I ain't never seen it that way.
Well, I'm using words that I know what I'm talking about. Just believe me on this, Deb. So, but mixing the races and no, don't get me wrong. Again, if it's God's will, like a man and a woman hook up, and one of them is black, the other is white, I'm cool with that. Who am I to question the Holy Spirit? It's just, and it can happen. I think it does. But it's like some of these people are doing this on purpose. There's some real purpose in it. And I'm not even talking necessarily the interracial couples that are getting together. They're being manipulated. They're being conned. It's just, I wonder if I'm going to get in trouble here on YouTube. I don't know yet. I know about it. And some of the jokes we used to make about Kentucky and West Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is your mother and father also your auntie and your uncle?
I remember that one song. My grandfather is my great grandfather.
Well, what I mean by interbreeding, I suppose I should clear that up. It's like putting one type of an animal with another, and I don't think I'm that we humans are not animals. Don't get me wrong. It's like putting one race with another race, totally different cultures and everything, and they're trying to erase the history. See, I'm trying to be careful. I'm already sticking my neck out here. On a personal level, I don't give 2 pence about what YouTube thinks about me. It's just that they can shut me down any time too. And anyway, but here's the thing that gets me, and the documentary has not brought this up yet. I'm not through it yet. I'm through parts 1 through 9. The African American people, black people, whatever, do you think the top politicians like Lori Lightfoot, now the former mayor of Chicago, and she got beat up by that weasel, Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson's African American. Lori Lightfoot, I think technically she is. What was going on during the Biden-Harris administration, guys? The homeless shelters and feeding them and getting clothes and stuff. The black people were turned away that were American citizens. It was all the illegal aliens that were getting it. Why do you keep asking that stuff? Well, of course I've had soul food. I've had black food, of course.
Oh, yeah. I cook a lot of different.
Anyway, yeah, but not just by you. I mean, long before I ever met you. Of course, I've eaten with them. I've been to church with them. I've been, I mean, what's the big deal here? Anyway. But I'm just making the point here, folks. They're trying to make a whole replacement theory and get rid of our history. I can give you a few suggestions on what to do. I've already done it. I'll do it again. Find the best to your ability. Find old magazines and books and articles and whatever you can find to read, to keep, and republish them somehow. Put them out on the internet. Give them from person to person. But Keep your own journals. Write your own history, as in be honest about it. Anywhere from what went on to your life, with your life on a personal level that day, to what's going on with current events around the world. Yeah, you can give your opinion. When you're dead and gone and somebody wants to read that journal, hopefully they're enough of a critical reader to see your opinion. And if more than one of you are doing that, all you'll do is reiterate one another. You will validate the history. Okay, if I wrote, which I did many times during the Biden-Harris administration, and I gave full names. That's what I do when I write. Joseph Bernadette Biden Jr., Kamala Debbie Harris, Nancy whatever, I don't remember right now, but Nancy whatever, blah, 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 Pelosi when she was the Speaker of the House. And then Kevin McCarthy took over, and now Mike Johnson. I mean, of course I gave my opinion. But that being said, so, that you can be an historian that way. And we have enough, and they're doing a great job of dividing us with that kind of stuff. Those African Americans, I don't know how many of them caught on in Chicago when that was going on before Trump got in, but I know they were getting angry about it. I kept track of it as best I could on the internet. Keeping their own people out on the street, letting them go hungry, and bringing in these illegals over. And they didn't care if you were white or black. If you were an American citizen, up yours. That's the picture I got. But that being said, I just thought I'd bring that up. And there's other problems we have too. Think about the history. I got it here. Not that I didn't know about this. I wrote her down. I mean, who founded the Planned Parenthood Federation of America? Her name was Margaret Sanger, wasn't it? She wanted birth control and to control the population of black people, keep it to a minimum. Well, who are a lot of contributors and advocates of the Planned Parenthood today? Black people. I mean, explain that one to me. They're that stupid. I mean, how could you be so ridiculous? But people are. You can't reason with these people. I don't know. But in order to keep up your own population and your own heritage and all that, you better have a minimum of 2 children per family, and maybe to make it easier, do like the Muslims are doing. Do what they do what they did in the Torah, have more than one wife. I mean, I know Deb doesn't like hearing that, but tough. It's just, those are the facts, those are the numbers. And that guy made it clear on BitChute on part 9. And, basically said it like it's going. Okay? He made it very clear. We're going to take over you. We will have the numbers to do it. And then they showed scenes where these women are just terrified. You could hear it in their voices. When you see all those people walking down the street protesting for their Islamic faith and whatever. I don't care what skin color you are. You want to be a Muslim? Yeah, okay, I better be careful. Mm-hmm. If it was up to me, that religion would be destroyed right now. But it's not, obviously. Well, let's get to some other things. There's some other problems we have too. Now let's go on to another subject. Let's go on to Riverside Homestead has some good stuff. This is his second most recent video. I don't know how much I might play. And I have to take a bathroom break while this is playing. I've already seen it. Okay. But let me get this on. And I'll put his link down too. He's got a lot of great info. Okay. I'm going to play this. I'll put this down and I'll be around. It's a little over 10 minutes long. Like, again, I don't know how much I'll play. Look at what's going on in the Pacific Ocean, folks.
Did you guys even know this was going on?
So we have a strange warning for San Diego, California residents today. If you're in San Diego, California, you might not want to get into the water at the beach anytime soon. We're hearing today that Tijuana, Mexico, has released 100 metric tons, 100 billion metric tons of doo-doo water into the ocean. Enough doo-doo water that NASA issued a warning saying they can see it from space. So if you're anywhere near San Diego and you're thinking about getting into the beach or going into the ocean, you might not want to do that for the next, I don't know how long, but the residents out there are pretty upset. The ones who have the mansions and things of that nature, they're pretty upset. They're walking outside of their homes, looking onto that beach and seeing metric tons of doo-doo water. So be careful, and I'm out.
Now, you guys think that's bad? Well, it gets even worse. You see these guys, this is the EPA with their big old cheesy grin, holding up their update for the quarter, stating that they've got a solution, but you won't believe who pays for it. You do. And I'm sure somewhere in there, somebody's lining their pockets, some politician. But yeah, we're actually pretty fortunate in the United States. We've got a lot in place to keep our waters pretty good. It's not like that in the rest of the world. A lot of Asian countries.
它的家乡有一座海岛，海岛上面居然有人把大海当作垃圾场，直接把垃圾倾到了海里面。通过航拍，我们可以很清晰的看到，这个垃圾就是由人类居住的区域通过一条路直接到山顶，然后从这个悬崖上面直接倾倒下来。这个垃圾堆它的角度是非常大的，因为它的根部是被海水潮涨潮落所侵蚀的，所以说这个垃圾只会保留这个规模，你倒的再多，它都被冲走了。
Not sure what he's saying, but it sure looks like they just take a big pile of trash and their garbage and just push it right into the ocean, right over the edge. I mean, this is viral all over the media. I'm just bringing awareness to you guys how, like, what it really looks like. And I've got another thing I want to show you at the end, because the surprising part is that us as U.S. citizens, you know, as they make decisions for us, and I don't know what else you would do to help this situation, but we have to pay for it. I'll show you that. This video right here, it reads, "This is absolutely crazy. This is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch." But this area, specifically in Guatemala, Mexico, you can see how much plastic bottles and other plastic waste ends up in our oceans. It is very good to stay informed of this, for you to be cautious of every decision that you make. Like I've said in the past, so it's really easy to complain about a lot of things here in America, but if you're a world traveler, you realize how good America can be, even though it's circling the drain in a lot of areas. There's a lot of other places out there that are a lot worse. What does the cruise ship do with all their waste? I'll show you that in a second. But right here, I found this video too. It's really good.
As you can see, they don't care if it's plastic, metal, whatever it is. They just pour it right into the deep blue sea. Anybody that complains about the United States of America and our trash, please send them this video so they can realize that the United States is far from the biggest culprit of pollution. By the way, there's two rivers where most of our pollution comes into the ocean from, and guess what country that is? I'll tell you, it starts with a C. Two rivers, 90% of all the pollution. But the United States spends more money than any other country on waste removal.
So that's interesting. One of the big sea countries right here. I'm not sure if you ever caught this, but this is kind of a big shocker. And to know that our seafood comes from this same place.
Japan says its plan to dump treated nuclear wastewater into the ocean is safe. Japan has a problem so big that it can no longer be contained. Literally. The country is planning to release 1.3 million metric tons of treated radioactive wastewater into the Pacific Ocean, and neighboring countries are concerned. In 2011, a tsunami triggered by a massive earthquake flooded nuclear reactors at the Fukushima Daiichi plant and knocked out its cooling systems. Officials have been trying to cool the destroyed reactors by pumping over 100 tons of water through them daily. The water is treated to remove most radioactive waste and is then stored in these tanks. But with more than 1.3 million tons in the tanks, Japan is running out of space, so it expects to release the water into the ocean this spring or summer. Some in Japan are upset about this plan. Neighboring countries like China, South Korea, and the Pacific Island nations, which have a legacy of being the world's dumping ground for nuclear waste, have also condemned the proposed release. These countries claim that it can have damaging effects on both the environment and humans. Some scientists also say it isn't safe and worry that radioactive waste hasn't been removed properly from the water. In 2020, a study found that 70% of the stored wastewater needed to be retreated because it failed to.
Okay, I've shown you almost half of that. You watch the rest on your own time, and I do recommend you to subscribe to Riverside Homestead. He's got a lot of info. I'll get another piece. Hey, welcome and early Shabbat Shalom to Carolyn Gannon. Oh. Oops. Come on. Okay. This is some things on. This is how the governor of my home state likes to think. It's just ridiculous. And here, let me get this refreshed. Let's play this.
If it is invalid, we promise a tenfold refund.
Hold on.
Complete teeth, partial missing.
I helped ignite a war on fraud across the country. People often wonder how come this fraud became so big and how come it became so rampant? And the reason is because no one actually ever really looked into it.
What a bunch of crap!
When Elon Musk offered to help by creating Doge, people burned his factories, bombed his cars, and politicians even celebrated his company's stock going down.
They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you.
Elon was right when he said the fraudsters complained the loudest.
Correctamundo.
By exposing the fraud, I actually also exposed the politicians and media who worked for years to cover it up. Governor Tim Walz labeled my work as white supremacy and called me a far-right delusional conspiracy theorist. Meanwhile, he dropped out of re-election, and he even said he has ended his political career.
So I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year.
Bye-bye.
Now, the highest government-funded daycare in Minnesota has pleaded guilty to daycare fraud, and the largest autism bust in America history has been exposed. Where is Tim Walz in the media now?
Man up and vanished like a fart in the wind.
Okay. Talking about a fart in the wind. Let's have some humor in all of this. Where is he? Where's Chucky boy? Oh, come on. I'll find it for you. Oh, here we are.
Make no mistake, there will be a trial, and when that trial ends, senators will have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the election.
Did he just say what I thought he said? What?
If they believe Donald John Trump incited the election.
Very poor choice of words.
The American people need to know, of course, how and why this chaos is spreading through their streets, and we need a complete investigation that's independent. Now on Iran and the NDAA.
Did you hear that?
What?
Now on Iran and the NDAA.
Boom, that's a fart.
When all the Trump administration can say about his disastrous war with Iran is that Vietnam was worse.
Was that a fart? I don't know. I can taste it.
Do the Biden.
I'm going to.
That's freaking funny. The new release.
Yeah, I'm going to. Oh, this is insane.
Congress, take action.
A second here. It's going to take 10 seconds here for me to click it out.
Ever tell you.
There was a concerted effort to hide what was wrong with it.
100%.
100%.
Yes.
Everybody was bullshitting.
Yes.
Everybody was gaslighting us.
Correct.
We all saw it.
What a bunch of a-holes.
Even if he wins, he's not going to be the guy that's the president. You're going to have his cabinet that are running everything.
Yeah.
And they were saying, oh, don't you understand that he has a stutter?
But I stuttered to talk like that. To talk like that. To talk like that. I stuttered.
Like a stutter that only shows up when you're 80? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, this is a lie. You're lying.
That don't make no sense.
He's had 2 brain surgeries, like where they have to take the top of your head off. Literally, they have to take like a cap.
I came back from a trip after being away for a couple of days, and I had these terrible headaches, was diagnosed with having anyway, they had to take the top of my head off a couple times, see if I had a brain.
We didn't find anything.
Wait, Biden had 2 brain surgeries?
Oh, yeah.
How did I not know this?
You didn't know this?
I didn't know that he had 2 brain surgeries.
He had 2 brain surgeries.
And I had a nurse nurses at Walter Reed Hospital who would bend down and whisper in my ear and go home and get me pillows. They would make sure they'd actually, probably nothing ever taught in, you can't do it in the COVID time, but they'd actually breathe in my nostrils to make me move, to get me moving.
Some story, huh?
See, that's the crazy thing is I never even knew about that.
How'd you not know about that? That's nuts. I knew about it.
There's serious brain damage.
Well, it speaks to how constrained our media environment is that even I had never heard
Right. It was not a part of the narrative. It's certainly not from the Democrats.
Democrats piss me off.
Okay.
That one right there that he's doing this.
Yeah. Here I got one more to play, and you want to know more about not mine. I'm not a Minnesotan technically now. I am in heart, but yeah, hold on. I'm gonna play this too. Okay. I'm just gonna play this short here.
Just weeks ago, a convicted sex offender and a foreign national was shielded from deportation by the governor of Minnesota. Laotian national Tu Li Vang was convicted of repeatedly sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl in the state of Minnesota. He even tried to pay his victim for her silence, and he called his heinous crimes a minor thing. Just days before this foreign sex offender was scheduled to be deported, Tim Walz, the governor, issued him a pardon, setting him free to once again endanger the children of America. Well, this week I revoked his legal status in the United States, and as a result, federal agents took him into custody, and as of today, he has been removed from the United States. Because of our action, this foreign criminal will never pose a threat to any American ever again. Americans must never be forced by their elected leaders to live alongside foreign sex criminals who have no right to begin with to reside in our country. This administration will always stand with the American people and defend them from violent criminals. Just weeks.
Okay.
It's sad.
What does this say? I mean, words can't describe people like Tampon Timmy, I'm telling you. I still have people up there that I love and care for, and fortunately, especially some of the ones I do know, they're at a good enough status to where, you know, they make a good enough income, and now that they have some police around. What?
Can I speak on something real quick?
Yeah, you can speak.
Well, the newfound court that's going to be coming out between the November 26th to the 28th, they're going to combine Sharia law and the 7 Noahides to allow people to marry as low as 9 years old.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, that's what Muhammad did. Actually, he married Aisha at 6 years old, and then took away her innocence at 9. Yeah. I'm just giving it to you, just kind of piece by piece, folks. There's a lot going on. I don't know what else to say. I know there's other channels that are going live now, and ones that will be soon because it's Shabbat.
People get ready for the whirlwind.
Get ready for the whirlwind. I mean,
whirlwind in
let me
judgment.
Let me give you another just a little tidbit of information. The 12 safest nations to be in, and I'll read them off. You tell me if you hear me mention the United States or not. Australia, Japan, Ireland, Switzerland, Canada, Slovenia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Austria, Portugal, New Zealand, and Iceland. Did I mention America? Nope. Nope.
Well, Australia's going down.
Yeah, they're going down. Some of this stuff is kind of getting out of date. Yep. Australia, and we keep contact, especially with one person from that country. It's not getting any better there. They don't have it as bad as we do yet, and we don't have it as bad as some countries, you know, like Great Britain. Oh man, I feel bad for those, for the common people of England. I really do. But what are you going to do? I'm just trying to give you this information piece by piece, you know, and it gets kind of scattered from one subject to the next. I actually know what I'm doing with this. You know, do your own research. I mean, look up and ask God, get on your knees in prayer, praying fast as long as you medically can handle that, and ask what the Lord wants you to do. Ask what Elohim wants for you. Okay, what his will is for you. Hard days coming, folks. It's not going to get any better than I can see.
Get ready. The coming of the Messiah is imminent.
Even though we had a former president, who was cheated out of office, I believe he was. I don't believe for a minute that Joe Biden had over 81 million votes popular. There's no way. I don't think he's guilty of doing it. He's probably informed. But even when he was lucid, he was too stupid to be a big part of that. And especially, I mean, he was starting to be offbeat a little bit when he was running. You know, but they got him in, and I don't go for what some of the people that I watch some of the information, and anyway, but we got a guy in who has redacted at least, if not more, 95%, if not more, of the Epstein files. I mean, messing with children. It's pretty clear about the orphan and that, and misleading children, and that in the scriptures. That irks me to no end. Protecting your billionaire buddies like that. It irritates the living snot out of me when you have AI data centers coming in and taking away people's farms and ranches that they've had for generations on down to their, some of them down to their triple great grandparents.
And promise to protect them.
And that. We need a rise, a revolutionary, not civil war, but a revolutionary rise, and I don't see it coming. I just don't, you know. Even the arrests that I hear about, and I'm glad they're being made. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that guy that Marco Rubio talked about, I'm glad he's out of here. Hardly know who he is, even though it had to be very traumatic and has messed up that girl who was 10 years old at that time. But these other people that are getting busted, and they've even gone into other countries to find them, you know, and bring them back for justice. I mean, I don't even know who they are. I have to write their names down so I can read them off to you, and it just irks me. It gets me to the boiling point very quickly. But real arrests, and I've named them off before. It's not going to happen. I heard anywhere from Hillary Rodham Clinton. Forget about Joe Biden. He's where he needs to be. Okay, he's out in La La Land. Just leave the doofus be. But his son Hunter, the little crackhead.
Which is running for.
Anyway, Tim Walz, Penny Flanagan, his lieutenant governor, Keith Ellison, the attorney general there, Kelly Morrison of the 5th Congressional District, who sits alongside a lot of times with, Kelly Morrison is the representative of the 3rd Congressional District of Minnesota, and she sits alongside of Ilhan Omar, the pedal worshiper herself, of the 5th Congressional District, and they encourage violence and all that in the back of a bed liner on a pickup, and it just, and of course Ilhan with all her fraud of feeding the children and marrying her brother, and let's see, creepy boy gaseous Gavin Newsom, governor of Cali, and so on, all the way to Karen Bass, mayor of LA. And I know people in LA that I'm, and I feel really bad for them. But we're not going to see those arrests that I can ascertain, or just looking at the pattern of it. I mean, it's not even that complicated, and we're on our own. We have to make our own way, community, and yes, trust Elohim all the way. Okay, I'm not excluding that at all. In fact, that's what we need to do first and foremost. And when we do that, hopefully we can get a net going and have kind of a mag type thing and help each other out, because we need each other, folks. We really do. And anyway, I hope you guys all have a great Shabbat Shalom, Sabbath blessings, however you say it.
Thank you for joining us.
I do appreciate you joining me onto the live stream. I think I am going to wait for day 20 for tomorrow with the reading of Leviticus. Yeah, I think it'd just be best if I do. And I still have research to do, and of course I want to do some scripture reading myself, with Deb and that, with the Torahs and that. So, but again, keep your heads on your swivels. Stay safe out there. All right. And peace, shalom, Shabbat shalom, ladies and gentlemen. Levite man is out of here and going to get something to eat.